Hey there, I'm Craven from your Met Office. For many of us, spring can't come soon enough. The birds are chirping, the sun's peeking through the haze, and the government's pumping out pollen like it's confetti at a royal nonce's wedding. But let's not forget, spring doesn't just bring sunshine. No, it brings pollen. And by pollen, I obviously mean airborne nanotech smart dust, dressed up as tree sex so nobody asks questions. Now, you might have noticed the Met Office doing their 5-day pollen forecast, probably right next to the 5-day gaslighting forecast, because for 1 in 5 Brits, spring means your immune system gets set to full meltdown and you're expected to just deal with it while they call it nature. Sneezing, runny noses, red eyes, brain fog. You're not allergic to flowers, mate. You're being peppered with the same fine particulate matter they pretend only exists in science fiction. So what is pollen? Well, according to them, it comes from wind-pollinated plants, which funnily enough are always conveniently invisible, bland, and have names like betula, pendula. Not colourful flowers, oh no, those are too obvious. The real ones at fault are allegedly the ones that look like grass clippings and barely exist. Meanwhile, the actual truth? You're being bathed in a rotating cloud of engineered bio-junk that somehow manages to trigger both hay fever and 5G buffering issues. Coincidence? Nah. Apparently, it's an extremely fine powder released as part of the plant's reproductive cycle. Sure it is. Funny how this powder always appears right after weeks of heavy spraying, followed by unseasonably warm bursts of wind-blasted shite. Let's talk allergies. Hay fever, which they claim is mostly caused by grass pollen, just so happens to flare up every time the sky turns into a checkerboard and your nose starts bleeding in Waitrose. I'm sure that's just clover related. And pets? Yeah, the animals are wheezing too, but apparently that's still just pollen. Not pollution, not particulates, not metallic fallout, pollen. Did you know there are 30 different types that cause hay fever? Yeah, well, there's also 30,000 different patents related to aerosolized particulates and atmospheric manipulation, but no one's forecasting those, are they? Now, the pollen season, as they call it, starts as early as January now. That's not a season, that's a year-long biological assault. Tree pollen, grass pollen, weed pollen, next it'll be cloud pollen and Wi-Fi pollen. Apparently the north gets a shorter season. Yeah, because they forgot to fit the sprayers with night vision for Yorkshire. And urban areas, lower pollen count. Unless it's mixed with air pollution, then suddenly your eyes start melting and it's still blamed on a tree. Weather makes it worse, they say. Rain knocks it down, sun makes it rise, wind spreads it, basically everything affects it. Because when you're bullshitting, it's best to cover all your bases. Pollen goes up when it's warm. Unless it's too warm, then it goes down. Wind makes it fly. Unless it's too windy, then it doesn't. Honestly, if pollen were a person, it'd be working in HR with a flexible work-from-home schedule. Want to know how they actually track it? With something called a burr card trap. Sounds like a sex toy for botanists, but no, it's a sticky bit of paper wrapped around a spinny thing that catches whatever's floating in the air. Then someone looks at it under a microscope and declares it high risk. Yes, that's your science. A glorified lint roller and a bloke with a spreadsheet. Tips for surviving the season? Stay inside, shut your windows, don't breathe, maybe wear goggles like you're heading into a chemical spill. And if you're feeling rough, don't worry, there's an app for that. It'll alert you when the government's turned the pollen cannons to full blast, so you can sit in your living room like a depressed jellyfish and wait for autumn. Oh, and if you want more of this kind of brainwashing, go subscribe to the Met Office YouTube channel, where they'll happily pretend UV rays are more dangerous than the global spraying up choking your lungs. I'm Craven, and if you're still blaming flowers for how you feel, you need to look up. Something else you need to look up is Liam Stoneley's content. Please remember, everyone, if you're not sharing, you're not caring. So if you watched it and you like it, share it for others to enjoy as well. Bye for now.